Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at some big news for Warhammer the Old World. It definitely feels like the articles and information coming out for the Old World is coming more frequently at the moment from the Games Workshop team on the Warhammer community site, and in this article that went out yesterday they're talking about the bases and answering some questions. So if you're looking at using your older models and wondering whether that's going to be okay, will you need to rebase them, things like that, you're going to find out in this video. So let's go and have a look at this big update that's going to be all about the base. Okay, let's get started. Now, I'm going to go right to the bottom of the article and focus on one bit of news because I think this key sentence is really important. It says, you may just hear even more at Warhammer Fest, which kicks off on Saturday the 29th of April. So we're going to find out more about Warhammer Old World at Warhammer Fest. So does that mean we're going to actually see some full models now? That would be amazing, but let me know what your predictions are in the comments section down below, and of course I'll be covering it all here on the channel. And talking about events, I've just now started to release ticket sales for my own events company, the TTSG Southwest, and the first tournament we've got running is Age of Sigmar for the 2nd of July 2023. More on that later in this video. Right, let's go through this article then. So first up, they've been painting a Bretonnian army using the older models, and they've gone for the heraldry of the Dukedom of Bretonnian. And I thought they were using older photos, but it looks like these are new ones. They've got the older models, but repainted them, brought those painting techniques up to date a little bit, and gone for some very crisp painting. I think they look fantastic on the table, but the terrain they've used, still keeping with that old vibe that we like from the old world. And in the article, they mention something really interesting. They say, alongside many new kits, some of which were previewed last month, and we'll have a look at those later on in this video, it says that the Old World will herald the return of some much-missed ranges of Citadel miniatures. That sounds really interesting, and I like the idea that they're really going to keep with this old world vibe. They're going to go with the aesthetic, keep it the same, but just bring it up to date, maybe make it a little bit crisper. So I think there's lots to look forward to here, and as we're getting more and more news, we're going to find out more about it. But let's go to these questions, because I'm sure you're wondering exactly what's going to be happening with the bases. Okay, the first question then, are the models getting bigger? The simple answer is no. The models are going to stay in the same scale as the returning range from Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So we're going to see the older range of models coming back and then the newer ones mixed in with them. So this is really interesting. The models are going to be the same scale, I like that, but they have increased the base size. Now all of the 20mm bases have been replaced with 25mm bases, and most, but it says not all, 25mm and 25 by 50mm bases have been replaced with new size bases, but it's not telling us exactly what sizes they'll be. There's a couple of reasons they've done this. One is so that you can get all the different angles of the spears and big weapons to fit easier, and also you can see all the different ranks more clearly. I like that idea. It's going to look better on the tabletop for sure. Just that little extra difference. That 5mm is going to add up on every single base. That's the first question, but now you might be wondering, do you need to rebase your old army now that the bases have been increased? This isn't a simple answer, pretty much it's yes or no, depends how you want to play. For casual play, you can just keep playing with the bases you've already got on there. It's not going to make that much difference, but it does say the rules will be written assuming the new larger base sizes. So if you're into competitive play or you want to come to tournaments, and I certainly will be hosting Warhammer the Old World tournaments, can't wait for that, then you might want to upgrade to those larger bases because I think the rules for tournaments and events are going to ask for that. Now, if you've got one or two armies, that could sound like a massive undertaking, rebasing all your models to make it fit for tournament play. But I was recently talking to a great company, War Factor, who are going to be collaborating with me at the event, and they've got some really innovative products that you can get adapters for to increase the size. So, for example, if you wanted to play your old world models in Sigmar and proxy them, you can make the square bases into round bases, and they've also got ways to make the squares and rounds bigger, so that could be a really good option. You might not have to rebase them all, you can just get these little base extenders and adapters, which I think are fantastic products. They're not sponsoring this video, but I think this could be really helpful and something you could take a look at if you're interested. I'll put a link in the description down below. War Factor will also be providing some awesome prizes during my event on the 2nd of July, so if you're coming along, you're in for a treat. There'll be some great stuff there. Alright, so you may or may not be having to rebase your models, but if you do, how do you know what the correct base size will be for each of the models you have? There's a really simple answer for this. It basically says base sizes will be given in every model's profile. That answers that one nicely. Now you might be wondering, can you use your old armies at organised play events? And it says sure, but organised play events, tournaments, campaign events, etc. will probably require armies to be based appropriately for the new game, or an appropriate movement tray. Again, check out War Factor. Organised play requires some standardisation, and this is the best way to do it. I mean, that's a great way to do it, isn't it? Getting an appropriate movement tray. That's another way that you don't have to rebase them all. And then you can keep playing with them as they are casually. But then for organised play, you've got a nice simple solution so that you can bring them along and then fit in with the rules. I think this is really good that you can play your old armies. It's really nice. You don't have to reinvest now and buy totally new ones. That is if you've kept them, and hopefully you have. And it's going to be really good to see this game. I didn't play it. I think I must have been, in my 20s or 30s when it was out. And I remember looking at the Wood Elves. They looked fantastic. I even bought a set just to build and paint. Never actually did, and then sold them again. But I always liked the look of it. Loved seeing the pictures and the models in the shop especially. Just going in, looking at the shops and what they've got on display and stuff. It was great. So it's really cool this is coming back. I'm a huge fan of Wood Elves, so I can't wait. And the final question they addressed in the article here is, will you be able to buy bases? Again, the simple answer, yes. All models in the Warhammer Old World range, including the returning models, will be supplied with the correctly sized bases, where they'll also be selling bases and movement trays. Oh, that's good. So Games Workshop are actually selling the movement trays, so that's going to help, again, if you want to just magnetise maybe and look at that. The metal movement trays are fantastic because you magnetise your models for storage and then pop them on the metal trays. That's a really great way to do it. So it'd be interesting to see how Games Workshop approach those trays. But in general, if you're going to be new to the old world like I am and you're buying models to play in it, including the new and returning ones, they're going to now come with the correctly sized bases. So that's really good to know. Really looking forward to this. I hope we get to see some proper models at the Warhammer Fest event online. That's going to be fantastic. But we did see some little sneak peeks at the different weaponry and some of the shields and helmets and things like that. And all these items in the images you see here are going to be found in brand new plastic kits that will be coming for Kingdom of Bretonnia and the Tomb Kings of Khemri. That's a pretty big hint that they could be the two different armies that are going to be included in the starter set, maybe. Have to wait and see, but I think that could be the way to go. But I really hope we see the models. We've seen the swords, helmets and shields now. We just need to see who's going to be holding them. I'd love to hear what you think about these updates now, and also the idea of mixing the older models with new ones. Do you think that's good? Or would you prefer a complete overhaul with all the models being updated to new models? I kind of like both. I think it's cool, that nostalgic feel, especially if you played it when you were younger. It's going to be really fun to either get those models back out and on the table with the new rules, or buy them again. If you maybe sold your collection, it's a good way to rekindle that fun you had when you were younger. So I hope the nostalgia side comes through with this when they do start releasing the models. But overall, I think it's going to be really fun to cover it, and I can't wait to get those Wood Elves and get them built, painted, and on the table, doing battle old world fantasy style. I'm really excited to launch the TTSG Southwest tournaments. The Age of Sigmar is going to be on the 2nd of July 2023 in Cornwall, UK. It'd be great if you can come along. There'll be food catered there. There's going to be snacks, hot drinks all day. The packs available to have a look at if you want to find out more about the details of the tournament, and you can book your tickets online at my website. There's a link down in the description and the comments below. I'd love to see you there, and if you've got any questions, please get in touch and I'll do my best to answer them. We've got some great sponsors for the event, lots more to come about them, and the prizes are going to be great. There's a gift bag for every attendee, and I'm keeping it a surprise, so you won't find out what's in there until the day of event, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's going to be fantastic. So lots to look forward to. I'm really excited, and I hope you can make it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to seeing your comments, especially if you've played the game before. It'll be great to hear your take on all these updates and changes. But for now, thanks again for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.